Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. You've probably seen them, in movies, maybe read about them. Private jets always seem like the ultimate luxury, right? But what if there's more to it?
That's the common view, yeah.
Yeah,
Pure luxury.
yeah.
But the real story, well, it's often quite different. It's efficiency, it's control. Sometimes it's just the only practical solution.
Exactly. So our mission today, we're doing a deep dive into the ultimate guide to private jets, brands, features, and costs. We've basically boiled down a huge guide just for you, our listener. Think of it as a shortcut.
Right. Because by the end of this, you won't just know the big names, you'll actually get what drives the market. The cool features, sure, but also the sometimes surprising costs
Yeah.
and the really crucial decisions people have to make.
Yeah, it's about getting past just the shiny exterior, isn't it? Making informed choices, whether you're like a broker advising someone or just plain curious.
hmm
So let's start there. This private jet market, it's not just some tiny niche anymore, is it? It
Yeah.
feels like it's become a really essential part of aviation now.
Oh, absolutely. It's evolved massively. You've got everything from, the super ultra luxury jets for high net worth folks down to really efficient, almost economical choices for businesses, even first-time buyers.
Huh. So a whole spectrum.
A whole spectrum. And understanding that is, well, it's critical. If you're a broker, you need to match the right plane to the client. If you're looking yourself, you need to see past the hype. It helps avoid some very expensive mistakes.
Right.
And the source material we looked at, it really talks to both sides, the brokers, who are kind of the matchmakers, and the buyers, whether they want luxury or just, efficiency.
And the players building these things, some real heavyweights. You mentioned Bombardier. Their Learjet is iconic, but they also have the big global series.
Yep. And then there's Gulfstream. You think Gulfstream, you think long range, high speed. The G650, the new G700,
Mm-hmm.
they really push the envelope there.
Okay. Who else?
Embraer's a big one, too. They're phenom jets. They're a popular way to get into the market, more affordable. But then their Legacy series, that's definitely playing in the luxury space.
It's interesting.
Dassault, too, with their Falcon jets. Known for versatility, lots of advanced tech. And you can't forget Honda aircraft now. The Honda jet, with that weird-looking but effective over-the-wing engine thing. Pretty innovative.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that. It looks different.
It does. It's supposed to make the cabin quieter and roomier.
And then there's the whole charter side, right? People who don't actually own the jet.
Exactly. Huge players there.
Hmm.
NetJets, they basically invented fractional ownership. FlexJet, known for really personalized service. VistaJet, they do the all-business class thing globally. They've totally changed how people access private flights.
So why is knowing all these different brands and models so important? Does it really matter that much?
It really does. For a broker, it's everything. Matching the plane to the mission, is it a short hop or crossing the Atlantic? How many people? For a buyer, it's about value. What are you actually getting for that price tag? It helps you, cut through the noise.
Makes sense. And the market's not exactly sitting still, you mentioned.
Not at all. Some really cool trends emerging. Urban air mobility, for instance. Think Blade. You can book helicopter or short jet hops on an app. Makes private aviation feel a bit more accessible for certain trips.
Like an Uber for the skies, almost.
Kinda, yeah, for specific routes. Then you've got companies like Air Partner doing both charter and ownership help, and they're really focusing on safety and sustainability now. That's becoming a big deal.
Sustainability. We'll
Yeah.
definitely come back to that. What about speed? Anything crazy happening there?
Well, Ariane Supersonic was working on the AS2 jet, a supersonic business jet. Imagine cutting travel time dramatically, but also trying to be, greener about it. A huge technical challenge, obviously.
Supersonic business travel. Wow. That feels like the future.
It is the future people are chasing. And speaking of the future, there's also eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Companies like Joby Aviation, think quiet, electric air taxis for cities. Reduced noise, zero emissions,
Yeah.
could really change urban transport.
Electric air taxis. Okay, my mind is slightly blown.
Yeah, it's pretty out there, but it's coming. But back to today's jets beyond the tech. Reputation is just massive in this industry.
How so?
Well, the brand's reputation for service quality, their safety record, it's paramount. Customer feedback, reviews, testimonials, people really pay attention. Especially in the luxury segment, it's all tied up with the features, the amenities. It builds trust, which affects everything, even resale value down the line.
Okay, let's zoom in on the jet itself then. The inside. Layouts, customization. It's not just about looking nice, is it?
Not at all. It's function and comfort.
Mm.
Take Bombardier's Global series, known for huge, flexible cabins. You can have separate areas for meetings, dining, relaxing.
Right.
But then compare that to, say, Embraer's legacy jets. Still luxurious, but maybe more focused on using space really efficiently. Smart layouts.
And you can personalize these things like crazy, right?
Oh yeah. Materials, colors, finishes, top-of-the-line entertainment, smart lighting, climate control, plus practical stuff, extra storage, special seating. It's all about making it fit your needs.
So a business jet might look totally different inside from one used mainly for family trips.
Absolutely. Business setup, maybe conference tables, super fast Wi-Fi is key. Leisure, more focus on comfy lounges, maybe a big screen, plush seats. It's really purpose-driven design,
Yeah.
turning a plane into, well, your personal space.
And the tech in the cockpit. Avionics, that's moved on too, I assume.
Massively, especially for safety. You've got advanced systems like synthetic vision. It basically paints a 3D picture of the terrain ahead for the pilots, even in bad weather.
Wow, like seeing through clouds.
Pretty much. Plus things like enhanced ground proximity warnings, TCS for collision avoidance, ADS-B for traffic. It all adds layers of safety.
And controlling the plane itself.
Fly-by-wire is a big one. Electronic controls instead of old-school mechanical linkages. Makes the plane handle better, reduces pilot workload, allows for smarter safety features.
And connectivity. Can you actually get decent Wi-Fi up there now?
Oh yeah. High-speed satellite comms are pretty standard on newer, larger jets. Absolutely essential for business travelers who need to stay connected. Can't be offline for 8 hours crossing the ocean.
Definitely not. And looking ahead, you mentioned sustainability. That applies to the tech too.
Big time. There's a huge push towards electric and hybrid propulsion, at least for certain types of missions. Trying to cut that carbon footprint. It's not just about being green. It impacts long-term running costs too.
Okay, so we've got the insides, the tech. What about just pure performance? How do you measure these things?
The big three are speed, range, and capacity. And they're all linked, What you need depends on what you're doing with the jet.
Right. Speed.
Varies a lot. Light jets might cruise around 400 knots, maybe a bit more. Bigger jets, over 500 knots isn't uncommon. Faster saves time, obviously, which is huge for some people, but usually means burning more fuel, higher operating costs.
And range. How far can they actually go?
Again, depends on the size. Light jets, maybe 1,000 nautical miles, give or take. Enough for regional hops, the big boys. Ultra long-range jets like some Gulfstreams or Globals, over 7,000 nautical miles, nonstop London to Singapore, that kind of thing. Huge time saver. Avoids fuel stops.
7,000 miles. Wow. And capacity. How many people fit?
Small jets, maybe 4 to 6 passengers comfortably.
Right.
Large cabin jets can be 19 or even more, though usually configured for fewer in ultimate luxury. Plus baggage space, which is also important. It's always a trade-off. More seats might mean less legroom or fewer amenities.
Finding that sweet spot. Okay, let's dig into some brands specifically. Pros and cons. Bombardier, what's the story there?
Strengths. Definitely their diverse range, from the smaller Learjets up to the massive Globals. They're known for good tech, fuel-efficient engines, and a pretty solid reputation for safety and reliability.
Sounds good. Any downsides?
Well, the source we looked at mentioned some recent financial challenges for the company. That's something you have to factor in, potential impact on future support, maybe retail value. It's a risk assessment. And generally speaking, Bombardiers tend to have a higher purchase price and overall cost of ownership compared to some competitors.
Got it. What about Gulfstream? They seem like the top tier for performance.
They really are synonymous with speed and range.
Yeah.
That G650 hitting Mach 0.925 and the 7,000 plus nautical mile range, that's serious performance for crossing continents or oceans quickly.
I bet that performance costs.
You bet right. High acquisition costs, we're talking $60, $70 million, sometimes more. And the operating budget, fuel, crew, maintenance, easily several $1,000,000 a year. It's a huge commitment.
So why pay that much?
Well, for the buyers, it's justified by the state-of-the-art tech. The incredibly spacious and customizable cabins, things like advanced cabin pressurization systems that reduce jet lag, super quiet interiors. It's peak luxury and performance. For certain users, that time saved and the ability to arrive refreshed is worth the premium. It's a business tool that enhances productivity.
Okay. How about Cessna? They seem more accessible, maybe.
Yeah, Cessna, especially with their Citation line, really aims for that balance. Good performance, comfort, but also cost-effectiveness. A key thing for them is operational flexibility.
Meaning?
They can often use shorter runways. It opens up way more airports, potentially getting you closer to your actual destination, avoiding the big hubs. That's a huge plus for many.
Ah, interesting. And inside?
They have a range, too. The Citation longitude is pretty spacious, competes with bigger jets. Then you've got the smaller M2, so you can tailor it.
Yeah.
And generally, yeah, the purchase price is lower, operating costs tend to be lower, and they have a good reputation for reliability, which means potentially less spent on maintenance. Good entry point for many.
Makes sense. Embraer next. You mentioned comfort versus cost.
Exactly. Look at their Phenom series, especially the Phenom 300. It's consistently one of the best-selling light jets. Why? Because it offers a surprisingly roomy, comfortable cabin for its size. Modern feel, but at a really competitive price point. It punches above its weight.
Like getting more than you paid for.
Sort of, yeah. But then, if you step up to their legacy series, like the 650 or 500,
Hmm.
that's full-on luxury. Big cabins, maybe 14 passengers, high-end finishes, great entertainment. But naturally, the price tag, both to buy and to operate, goes up significantly.
So it's a clear step up within the brand.
Definitely. And this is where that detailed cost analysis becomes so important. Do you buy the legacy with hangar fees, insurance, crew, maintenance, or is chartering something similar when you need it actually more cost-effective? Big decision.
Right. Lastly, Dassault. Luxury versus functionality.
Yeah, Dassault, with their Falcon jets, they really try to blend both. You get these beautifully designed, luxurious interiors, top materials, gourmet catering options, all that. But they're also known for being very functional, efficient aircraft. Advanced tech, cutting-edge avionics, focus on safety.
Like the Falcon 7X.
Exactly. That one's known for its advanced fly-by-wire system, really good fuel efficiency for its size, great for long haul. So it performs well and it's comfortable.
Does that dual focus affect the price?
The initial investment is significant, no doubt. But the source pointed out something interesting. Dassault jets tend to hold their value really well. So while it's expensive up front, it might be a better long-term investment compared to some others when you factor in resale. Another thing to weigh up.
Okay, let's pivot to the money side properly. Owning versus chartering. Buying a jet, it's not just the press on the website, is it?
Oh, heavens no. That's just the start. You've got sales tax, which can be substantial, registration fees, and absolutely critical are the pre-purchase inspections. You need experts to go over that plane with a fine-tooth comb before you sign anything. Could save you millions down the road.
And the brand matters here too, price-wise.
Huge impact. Like we said, Gulfstream, Bombardier, generally higher price tags for their top-end models, Cessna, Embraer, often more budget-friendly entry points. And then you have to think about financing. Loans, leases, the interest rates, the loan term, the down payment, that all dramatically changes the total cost.
But the real killer can be the ongoing costs, right? The stuff people forget.
Absolutely. Those operational expenses, they're the hidden iceberg. Fuel is usually the biggest one. It varies like crazy based on the plane, the engines, how high you fly, fuel prices themselves.
Are some brands noticeably better on fuel?
Some are designed for efficiency on long routes, yeah. Bombardier's Globals are often noted for that. But it's complex. A light jet burns less fuel per hour, but a bigger jet might actually be more cost-effective per mile on a very long trip because it can do it nonstop.
Okay, what else besides fuel?
Maintenance, hugely important for safety, reliability, and keeping the jet's value up. Regular inspections, repairs, replacing parts as they wear out, it adds up. And again, bigger, more complex jets like a Global, more expensive to maintain than a simpler Citation.
Insurance.
Yep, depends on the jet's value, how you plan to use it, pilot experience, but budget maybe 1% to 2% of the aircraft's value each year.
Crew. Gotta pay the pilots.
And cabin crew if you have them. Pilot salaries can range widely, say $50 for first officer up to $150K or more for an experienced captain on a large jet. Cabin crew, maybe $40K to $80, plus their training is ongoing and expensive, tens of thousands per pilot per year sometimes for certifications and staying current.
Wow. Okay. Anything else?
Hangar fees, got to park it somewhere, can cost tens of thousands a year, depending on the airport, the size of the jet, whether it's heated.
Okay, that's a lot for ownership. What about chartering? How does that work cost-wise?
It's mostly based on an hourly rate. It can be anywhere from, say, $3,000 an hour for a very light jet up to $20,000 an hour, or even more for a top-end ultra-long-range jet.
But it's not just the hourly rate, right? There are extras.
Always extras. Landing fees at airports, fuel surcharges, which can fluctuate, crew overnight expenses, if applicable, international fees. You need to get a clear quote that includes everything.
Does the type of jet make a big difference to the charter cost?
Huge difference. Light jets like a Citation Mustang or maybe a Learjet 40 are the most affordable hourly. Mid-size jets like a Hawker 800 XP give you more comfort and range for a moderate bump. Then the large jets, G650, Global 6000, that's peak luxury and range, but the hourly cost reflects that.
Are there ways to get better deals on chartering?
Sometimes. Longer flights obviously cost more in total, but the hourly rate might be slightly better. Booking round trips can sometimes get discounts, and for people who fly often but don't want to own, there are block hour programs. You basically prepay for, say, 25 or 50 hours at a lower rate.
Like buying in bulk.
Exactly. And remember, things like fancy catering, specific entertainment setups, ground transport coordination, that all adds to the charter cost. You can choose how much luxury you want versus sticking to a budget.
Okay, so the big question then, ownership versus chartering, what's the bottom line?
Well, ownership gives you ultimate convenience and flexibility. The jet is yours, ready when you are. For people flying hundreds of hours a year, it can eventually be cheaper than chartering that much. But the upfront cost is massive, depreciation is real, and those ongoing operational costs we talked about are substantial and relentless.
And charter room.
Chartering means flexibility without the huge capital outlay or the long-term commitment. You pay as you go. No worrying about maintenance schedules, crew management, hangar space. Someone else handles all that. The downside, if you fly a lot, those charter hours add up, and it can become very expensive. Plus, you might not always get the exact jet you want exactly when you want it, especially during peak times.
So it really depends on how much you fly.
How much you fly, what kind of trips you take, how much flexibility you truly need, and, frankly, your financial situation and tolerance for complexity. There's no single right answer. The source material really emphasizes that it's a personalized decision.
Right. Okay, shifting gears slightly. Maintenance, you said it's critical. What does regular maintenance actually involve?
It's not negotiable. Safety first, obviously, but also reliability, performance, and protecting the jet's value. You've got daily walk-around checks, more detailed monthly checks on systems like avionics, engines, hydraulics, and then there are major annual inspections that are very thorough and require certified technicians.
Does it vary much between, say, a big Bombardier and a smaller Cessna?
Oh, definitely. The bigger, more complex jets like a Global have way more systems, redundancy, stricter protocols. So their maintenance is naturally more involved and expensive than for a simpler Citation M2.
And the costs, you mentioned tens to hundreds of thousands a year.
Yeah, that's the ballpark. It covers scheduled stuff, the routine checks, planned engine overhauls, which are very expensive but predictable. But you also need to budget for unscheduled maintenance. Things break unexpectedly. That tends to be higher for older jets or ones that fly a lot.
So like an emergency fund for the plane.
Exactly. A contingency budget is crucial.
Yep.
And don't forget compliance costs. Aviation regulations evolve, and keeping the jet up to snuff with the latest safety rules costs money too.
How do you even find someone qualified to work on these complicated machines?
That's a really important piece. Finding a good maintenance provider is key to the jet's lifespan and safety. You look for facilities overseen by the FAA, ideally with additional certifications from industry groups like MBAA or AEA.
Does experience with a specific type of jet matter?
Hugely. You really want a provider who specializes in your particular brand and model. They'll know the quirks, have the right tools, the right parts access.
And they should do more than just oil changes, right?
Oh, yeah. Look for places that offer comprehensive services modifications, avionics upgrades, structural repairs, emergency support, the whole package.
It sounds like trying to save money on maintenance is a bad idea.
It's the definition of false economy. Cutting corners on maintenance might save a buck today, but it leads to bigger, more expensive problems down the road, increases risk, and kills the jet's resale value. Just don't do it.
Got it. Looking ahead then, what's on the horizon? Technology is always moving.
Always. We're seeing continuous improvements in avionics for safety and efficiency, smarter autopilots, better navigation. Fly-by-wire keeps getting more refined.
And inside the cabin, more luxury tech.
Definitely. Faster, more reliable internet is always a goal. Better satellite comms, more immersive entertainment systems, highly customizable lighting and temperature zones, and noise-canceling tech is getting seriously good, making cabins incredibly quiet.
Like a little bubble of serenity.
Pretty much. And we touched on sustainability tech, alternative fuels, more efficient engines, the push towards electric grid. That's a huge focus. Plus, behind the scenes, AI and data analytics are being used more and more for things like predictive maintenance, figuring out when a part might fail before it does, optimizing flight routes for fuel efficiency, managing fleet operations smarter. It's about using data to make everything run better.
You keep mentioning sustainability. How big a deal is that becoming?
It's growing fast. Environmental awareness is up, and that's driving demand for greener options in private aviation, too. Sustainable aviation fuels, or SAFs, are a big part of that right now.
SAFs. What are they exactly?
They're made from renewable sources like used cooking oil or agricultural waste, and they can significantly cut greenhouse gas emissions compared to traditional jet fuel. Can often be used in existing jets, without modification.
Ah, okay. What else on the green front?
Better aircraft design, improved aerodynamics, using lighter materials, that all helps fuel efficiency. And like we discussed, the long-term goal for some missions is electric or hybrid aircraft, like those EV tails from Joby, zero emissions for short hops.
Are people doing anything on the ground, too?
Yep, things like using electric ground support vehicles at airports, offering carbon offset programs where you pay extra to fund environmental projects. It's becoming part of the package.
Does being green cost more?
Sometimes the initial investment in green tech might be higher, but the potential for long-term savings on fuel, plus maybe tax incentives down the line, it's making the economics work better over time.
So what's the overall outlook for the private jet market? Where's it headed?
Generally pretty optimistic, actually. Factors like increased global wealth, the desire for more personalized and controlled travel experiences, especially after recent global events affecting commercial airlines, are driving demand.
And sustainability will play a bigger role.
For sure. It's going to influence buying decisions more and more, both for individuals and corporations wanting to manage their environmental footprint.
What about luxury? What's next there?
A continued demand for extreme customization. Maybe more focus on wellness features, onboard air purification, circadian lighting, and connectivity expectations just keep rising.
But cost is still king for many, right?
Always. That ownership versus chartering calculation isn't going away. Fluctuating fuel prices, maintenance costs, new technologies, it keeps shifting the balance. The key takeaway is really just stay informed. Keep an eye on the new players, the new tech.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, it sounds like choosing a private jet is way more complicated than just picking a cool-looking plane.
Haha, yeah, just a bit. It's really this mix of understanding the brands, what they stand for, appreciating the features, both luxury and practical, but also getting real about the financials.
Yeah.
Ownership versus chartering, those ongoing costs, and never forgetting maintenance.
So this deep dive hopefully has given you, the listener, the tools to kind of see through the complexity, right? Whether you're actually in the market, advising someone, or just, fascinated by these machines.
Exactly. It's about making informed decisions, not just being wowed by the image.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Think about how we've approached this, looking at brands, features, costs, balancing luxury with practicality, upfront investment versus long-term expenses, innovation versus sustainability. It's a really rigorous way to analyze something complex. How could you apply that same kind of multifaceted thinking to other big decisions in your life or big investments? Moving beyond just the surface impression to really understand the value, the risks, the implications, something to ponder.
Definitely food for thought.
And if you do want to dive even deeper into private jets, there are tons of resources. Industry groups like MBAA, the National Business Aviation Association, or AOPA for pilots, websites like Private Jet Card Comparisons or Aviation International News do great reviews.
For the financial side, Conklin and DeDecker has cost calculators, Jet Advisors too. And for maintenance insights, magazines like Business Aviation Magazine or Professional Pilot are worth checking out.
Awesome. Lots to explore. Keep on deep diving, everyone.